Wakinyan is the thunder being and represents cleansing. Wakinyan is a being that is both genders at the same time. I could say a hermaphrodite. Now, this is not transgender, this is not transsexual, this is not homosexual, this is something completely different. A hermaphrodite is a person who's both male and female at the same time. There are humans who are born this way, and this is very special. This is sacred. But in the Western world, people regard them as freaks, and they make fun of them. Some of them, they don't understand why they are this way because the Bible says something like this is evil. Or other cultures may have another explanation that may not be good either. But in the Lakota world, it's a very sacred thing. It's very sacred. And with Wakinyan, when Wakinyan presents itself as female, then it's Wakinyan. That's Wakinyan. This is the female representation of this sacred being. And she comes to cleanse the earth, so she represents cleansing. And anything that is out of balance, she will cleanse it. And the cleansing is accomplished by lightning, it's accomplished by thunder, the noise, the boom, all of that, that's all cleansing. What it does for the ground, it puts nitrogen in the ground so that things can grow. And sometimes a fire might happen, but that's okay. Because from the fire, nitrogen is going to go into the ground so that things can grow. So these are some ways that she cleanses the earth. And many years ago, the people were under the earth. They were just created. And there was a giant bear who wanted to become a member of an organization called Wakantanka. Now today in the Christian world, Lakota Christian people, they define Wakantanka as a God, as a one supreme being. But this is false. That's a Christian definition that's tainting a very sacred organization. It's a group. Wakantanka is a group of people. And this bear, he wanted to become a member of that. He was a very giant bear, and he walked upright, so they called him Hunum. Hu means legs, and Num is short for Numpa, which means two. So this is the reason why we consider bears two-legged. Among creation, ancient Lakota people categorize everything into 4 categories. And this can be as the winged, so anything that flies. That's one group, and they're called Hupahu. And then we have the 4-legged, and these are Hutopa. And then the 2-legged, which are bears and humans. And that which moves and grows, they call it Dakushkan. So that's plants, other animals that don't fit into the other categories. They fit into this one. So that's just a little description. That's called Wamakashkan, the whole thing. So we're a part of it. We are a part of Wamakashkan, whereas Christians believe that humans are above everything else. But in the Lakota world, humans are a part of everything. We are not above it. So this giant bear wants to join this organization called Wakantanka, and he has an idea. Oftentimes, he sleeps or he pretends to sleep outside the meeting area where these Wakantanka meet. And he listens to what they say. So from this activity, he learns their songs. And then he has an idea. He's going to talk to the people under the earth, and he's going to teach them some of these songs. And he taught them how to make drums and rattles, and then he taught them one of the songs of the Wakantanka. And he said, they're going to really like it. the Wakantanka are really going to like it that you're singing their song. So the leader of the people, they're going to want to make him a member of the Wakantanka. And the leader's name at that time was Tatanka. That's just a name. At this point, it's just a name, because at this point, there's no buffalo yet. Because a lot of people think Tatanka means buffalo. But at this time in the story, there are no buffalo yet. They're not created yet. So at this time, Tatanka is just a name. And by the way, Tatanka means buffalo bull. Buffalo is Ptechchaka. But in this point in time, there's no buffalo yet. This leader, his name is Tatanka. The people, when they lived under the earth, they are called Pte Oyate. They're not human, but they're not animal either. They're something different. But they're human in form. Like us, they have arms and legs and things like that. Anyway, the Pte Oyate leader, his name is Tatanka, and this bear is saying that when you guys are going to sing this Wakantanka song, the Wakantanka are really going to like it. And they're going to ask the Pte Oyate leader to become a member of this organization. And the plan will be that he will only accept it if the bear is allowed to join too, because the bear taught them these songs. This was the plan. So the leader of the Pte people, the people under the earth, he agreed to it. This Tatanka, he agreed to it. So then the bear showed Tatanka how to make drums and rattles. He taught them a song. And then in turn, Tatanka taught the people how to do this. And the bear said that when they meet nearby, the bear said he would tell them when to start singing and playing the drum. So you have hundreds of thousands of people here. So you can imagine there's a lot of drums. A lot of drums and rattles. So they were all proceeding to make their drums and rattles, and in the meantime, Hunum was following these Wakantanka in their meetings, pretending to sleep outside of where they were meeting. And all that time he's listening. So he's learning their ways. The bear is learning the ways of the Wakantanka. Anyway, so now it's going to be time. They're going to have a meeting near where the Pte people are living. And so the bear comes and tells Tatanka, okay, start singing. So they all get their drums and they start singing this song. And women are standing there with the rattles around the drum, and they're shaking the rattles while the men are drumming, and everybody is singing this song. You hear this boom, 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 really loud. Because imagine that. Several 100,000 people drumming at the same time under the earth. The earth is going to move. So the first one to hear this was Wakinyan, the thunder being. She heard this and she thought maybe it's another Wakinyan. So she flew, trying to find the sound, and she was able to locate it. And then she went under the ground to see what was going on, and she saw all these people playing their drums and singing this song. It's a very beautiful song. It's a song of thanksgiving, is what they were singing. And so she let them finish. Because in Lakota, when you sing a song, you sing it at least 4 times. So she let them finish. When a thunder being is in your presence, you don't make eye contact. This is where our tradition comes from, of not looking people in the eyes. It's a sign of respect. And I'll explain to you why in a little bit, okay? But she said to them she was really happy. And the people were scared. They were so scared because there's a thunder being standing there. Yeah? And they're really scared. And she says, you really, really made me feel good. And I'm going to give you power to your drums to clean to cleanse the area. So when she did this, something happened to all their drums. Now they have the power of Wakinyan. So she said, anytime you're feeling sad, anytime you're feeling lonely, lonesome, or troubled, disturbed, she said, beat the drum. Just beat the drum. You don't even have to sing. She said, just beat the drum in a steady beat, and it'll go away. So none of this, none of that, just boom, 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 boom. And not the Hollywood beat either, yeah? Not that boom, 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 boom. It's supposed to be a steady beat. And the sound of the drum is going to cleanse the area. And if you don't have a drum, use rattles because it does the same thing. And if you don't have rattles either, then clap your hands. That noise is what cleanses the area. That's what we learn from there. Very beautiful. Then she talks to the leader, Tatanka. She says, I want to bring you before the council, the Wakantanka council, and I'm going to tell them what happened. And maybe they'll make you a member of their Wakantanka. So the leader, Tatanka, he says, good. So they went to this Wakantanka council. The Wakantanka were really impressed. And they asked Tatanka, the Oyate leader, to become a member of this organization. And Tatanka would only accept it if the bear is allowed to join too, because the bear taught them these songs. And they talked about this, and the Wakantanka were really impressed. And so they made both of them Wakantanka. Tatanka, the Oyate leader, and also Hunum, the giant bear. He was made a member. So they were given responsibilities. Hunum, the giant bear, is the representation of wisdom. And Tatanka is to protect the chastity of women. He's kind of like the guardian of women. It's very beautiful. Very, very beautiful story. So that's how we got the drum. This is how the drum is used for healing. And like I said, even if you're feeling bad, to hit the drum, same thing. You can do that there too. Rattles, same thing. So that shows you the cleansing nature of Wakinyan and her power. Now, there was a time where some creatures were created by a woman who lives in the water, and they were created to cause trouble because something happened to her, and it was unjust. She received an injustice from the earth, because at this time the earth was very immature. The earth was brand new, very young, and often made mistakes, and was very temperamental. She was like a spoiled little kid. And she threw this woman in the water. Her name was Unk. And Unk was very beautiful, friendly, but the earth became jealous and threw her in the water and made her stay there. And Unk didn't do anything wrong. So she wanted to cause trouble for the earth. So she created these beings to go on the earth and cause trouble for the earth. So these beings can live on the earth, and they can also live in the water. So you can imagine what those are. And some of them are giants. They're called Unkjeri or Unkjerila. So when these beings, these Unkjeri, when they were coming on the earth, boy, they were causing problems. So when any time an Unkjeri came on the earth, Wakinyan would go and destroy it because she's cleansing. Unkjeri cause problems. They cause trouble. They bring contention. And they really stink. So they smell disturbing. They make you disturbed. When you smell their odor, it really makes you disturbed. It's how bad they smell. So Wakinyan would destroy them to cleanse the earth. And usually these battles occur near water because they come out from the water and they try to fight with Wakinyan, but then when they lose, they try to go back to the water. So she's trying to destroy them before they get into the water because she can't go in the water. So that's why a lot of these battles happen along rivers. And this is what you know today as tornadoes. These are battles happening. So the problem was she couldn't go in the water. Well, one day she saw a turtle and noticed that the turtle lives in the water but also comes on the ground, earth. So she asked the turtle to help her, and the turtle was kind of like, he didn't care about anything. He didn't even care about the other Unkjeji, or Unkjejila. So the turtle said, well, why should I care? So Wakinyan said, think about it. If I give you cleansing power, you can cleanse the water. Everything needs water. The plants need water. Animals need water to drink, to live. Everything on this earth needs water. And if you have the power to keep it clean, that's going to make you a very, very important part of this world. And so the turtle said, yeah, that sounds pretty good. So they made a pact. They formed into an alliance, a very sacred alliance. So the turtle has the power of Wakinyan. This is why turtles are very, very sacred. They're the most sacred animal on this earth. I'm not kidding. Because without water, we are nothing. Even eagles. Eagles have the tune of Shkan, which is one of the members of the Wakantanka. They have that in their feathers. But the turtle is still more sacred than that. Because you see, an eagle cannot live without water. So turtles are considered the most sacred of all. And people don't realize that. So if you see one on the roadside, stop in your car or your bike and help it cross the road. He's trying to get to some water. He has a job to do. He's going to clean the water. So this is how the turtle was able to destroy the Unkjehila that we cannot see with our eyes. So what do you think that is? Some microorganisms. That's why it's good if you're going to have a pond at your house to have fish in there or whatever. Make sure you put a turtle there. It'll keep it clean. It'll keep the water safe so everything can live that's in there. So that's how the sacred union between Wakinyan and the turtle began. Pretty cool combination. You have this huge, giant being and this little tiny turtle. And together they cleanse the earth and the water. Isn't that cool? I like that. I really like that. So that's how we regard the turtle. It's a very sacred animal. And then when the people come on the earth, the 4 directions are made, and the first direction is west. I'm going to focus on this one. I'm not going to tell the direction story. That's another topic, but I'm just going to focus on the west. This is the first direction, and its color is black. And it represents birth, beginning. Whereas in the Christian world, black is death, the dark side, limbo, hell, evil, demons. That's what the Christian world regards black as, but in the Lakota world, black is a good color because it represents birth. It represents beginning, new life. It's a beautiful thing. And Wakinyan lives in the west. She has a teepee, a giant teepee that's made out of giant cedar trees. in the west. So there were four brothers. And the one that was supposed to make the west direction, he was supposed to go to the opposite side of the entrance and make the first direction, the west direction. When he walked into this lodge, there was a giant eye opened, yeah? And he looked at it and everything went goofy inside of him. And Wakinyan said, do what you're supposed to do. So he went and made that direction. And ever since then, this is another alliance for Wakinyan. When he came out, his brothers noticed that he was different. His clothes were on backwards and hair was in front of his face. His moccasins were inside out. And he came out. His brothers said, are you okay? And he said, no, I'm really not good, he said. And the thing is, he came out walking backwards. And when he came out, he said, Doksha Ake, he said. He's supposed to say hi. And here he said, Doksha Ake, which is our way of saying until next time. We don't have a word for goodbye in our language. And so the boys were like, huh? They were confused. He looked just goofy, yeah, because his clothes were backwards. His moccasins were inside out. And his hair was in front of his face. He was walking backwards. And he was talking weird. And soon they realized he's talking an opposite. He's saying the opposite of what he means. One instruction he got from Wakinyan was that whenever he needs help, call her name. So if he needs Wakinyan's help, how do you think he would call her name? From what information that I just gave to you. Is he going to say, Wakinyan, I need your help? Is he going to say that? What do you think? I'll let you think about that, yeah? But he was the first hayoka among the people. This is the male representation of Wakinyan. Remember, I said it's hermaphrodite. This is a sacred being. When Wakinyan presents herself as male, she's hayoka. Hayokas do everything in opposite. They do everything backwards. And oftentimes it makes people laugh. And this is cleansing. Laughter is cleansing. And sometimes when you're in trouble and you don't know how to get out, one way they teach you is to do everything backwards. And then you see the solution after that. So a hayoka can do that. They're sacred people. And since this is the male representation of Wakinyan, only men can be hayoka. The way you become hayoka is that you have to receive a vision, in which in this vision, the thunder and lightning is going to do something. So just because you dream about lightning, that doesn't mean you're supposed to be hayoka. It has to do something. In the Lakota world, when you dream of seeing something, that doesn't mean anything. It's the action of what that thing is doing. If you dream about a horse, that doesn't mean anything. But what is the horse doing? Because that action of the horse defines the dream. That's dream protocol. So same thing applies here. The thunder and lightning has to do something. And only holy people know this protocol. So when you dream of thunder and lightning, you better find one and tell them what you saw, because this might be a call for you to be hayoka for at least 1 year. You have to have a very understanding wife if you're married, yeah? Because you're going to be saying, I hate you. And she has to understand that what that means is that you love her. So this is how we got that Heyoka concept. It's all about cleansing and healing. Wakinyan Heyoka. It's all about cleansing and healing. Another thing that we get from Heyoka and Wakinyan is that when the thunderstorm comes, burn cedar. As you hear the thunder and see the lightning, start burning cedar. Because when the smell goes up, Wakinyan will smell that. Remember what I said. Her teepee is made out of cedar. So when she smells this, she flies around it. This is why we don't have stories of tornadoes wiping out teepee camps. Because as soon as they heard Wakinyan, our ancestors started burning cedar. So all the cedar smoke goes up into the sky. When she smells it, she flies around it because that's a signal that there's people there. Isn't that beautiful? So you can adopt that concept. Yeah? Go buy some cedar and you can practice this. This is a Lakota way of life. And since these battles happen beside big rivers, this is why Indians didn't set up camp along the Mississippi River in America, because they know these things happen. Hurricanes, same thing. Intense thunderstorms are happening around the world. This is part of the cleansing that's going to happen now. It's just the beginning. Lakota Star Knowledge stories tell us that all of this happened before. But there was a way for people to survive. And it begins by living with the earth instead of trying to control it. You have to really watch the earth. You have to be in tune with it. And the sacred center begins within you. You hear the voice of the earth at your sacred center. And that's where you'll know where to go for safety. West represents beginning, rebirth. So sometimes things go wrong for whatever reason. Maybe somebody gets in a car accident and they bang up their head really bad, or sometimes they experience something incredibly traumatic and it just messes up their mind. Or sometimes they're just born this way. Maybe there's a chemical reaction in the body when the woman is pregnant and it affects the development of the person's brain and something goes wrong. Well, there is a way to deal with that, and that involves Wakinyan. It involves Heyoka, and it involves the west direction and everything that represents the west direction. That power from the west direction is used to cure mental illness. This is a very, very sacred thing. Heyoka, remember, that's the male representation of this being. Wakinyan, that's the feminine side. Then Wakinyan comes to cleanse. And the male representation is Heyoka. And that's why only men can be Heyoka.
I invite you to come visit my website at wolakota7.com. You can see the address on the screen. And here you can learn about the books that I've written and also some of the services that I offer. For example, spiritual consultation and Lakota language lessons. And you can see the books that I wrote. And one of them, called Keya Mato Stone Hearts, I wrote with my wife. And if you would like to order these books or order any of my services, you can see all the information on the screen. And for more questions, please write to me at the email address that you see at the bottom right of the screen. Thank you very much for listening to this video, and I really appreciate your support of this channel. Also, thank you for the comments that you leave. I read them all and I really appreciate them. And if there's information here that can help you, then that's cool. And if not, then, well, that's okay too. And thank you very much for being a part of this community. I invite you to visit my other channel, which is called Lakota Language from the Heart. And I'm putting a link to it in the video description. So check out my new channel, which is exclusively about learning to speak the Lakota language from the heart. Everything is a circle. There is no end. So that's why we say until next time, which in Lakota is Dok Sha A Ke.